I think that's kind of the fun of it, because it's like this is food that we normally eat, and it's like, oh, it's made. You're giving it character. You're giving it a little bit of like cuteness.
Yeah. Especially cards. It's like you're on your way to a friend's house and you're like, oh shoot, it's their birthday. Like you just grab it instead of like, I'm gonna shop online for a card for my friend that's birthday's in 2 months. You know, you don't think that way.
Hey guys, welcome to the next episode and show of Pochi Bubble Tea Spill the Tea. We have a very special guest with us. Her name is Emily Chan. She is with Brightspot Design. Actually, she is Brightspot Design. She's got an amazing story for us today. If you guys haven't had a chance to visit our Kirkland location, all the stickers, yep. All the fun stuff, the pins, the greeting cards, and soon the little mini note cards are all hers, all her designs. So she's a local Pacific Northwest business owner. So this is really exciting because, well, from business owner to business owner, it's kind of a fun thing to kind of just dabble into or talk about, like what it is that you do and how you got into it. So you ready to spill the tea today?
I'll do my best.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming here. First of all, what are you drinking today?
Strawberry slush.
Strawberry slush. Keeping it simple. I don't see any toppings, so keeping it simple.
Yeah, keeping it simple. And the funny thing is, I used to get this drink in college too. So yeah,
Yay! Nice.
Oh
Good.
gosh.
Well, I've got my winter melon green tea that I probably put too much tea into, but I need to wake up today. So, what do you have?
I have a watermelon with aloe jelly. That's like my favorite summer combo.
Yep. That is really
refreshing.
Good. That is really good. Arthur's taking a break from the sweets today.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So, it's okay. I'm getting that summer bod.
We'll see, hopefully.
All right. Oh, well, Emily, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, thanks again for having me. I'm an artist and I draw cute food pun stickers and cards and just kind of things that make me happy. And I guess I keep drawing food because I love food. And yeah, it's come from, I started with greeting cards and branched off to stickers and pins and yeah, it's just kind of grown.
Your greeting cards are very punny. I like it. I love it. They're so punny.
I love they're so cute and colorful, and yeah, I know all of our customers loved it.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love that response. And I mean, I had no idea if people would like them or not, but one of my friends came up after church and whatever, and he just was like effusive and just said like, I've never seen a pho card before. This is amazing. Like he's like, I could never find this at Hallmark. Like, this is so cool. And I think that kind of reaction where you could see like a API type card or a food that you grew up with and you love, like who puts that on a greeting card?
Yeah, who puts bok choy with a smiley face? Like, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's super cute.
Yeah, I love it. So, well, first, you were a graphic designer.
Yeah.
Started off as graphic design. Then you decided that, like, this is what you want to do. Like, how did that get from there to here?
Yeah, such a good question. So, I mean, to rewind way back, like in high school, my first job was working minimum wage at a Hallmark at Bellevue Square.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I always loved stationery and being around cards and designs. But I think just the idea of like that I could ever do my own cards, that never even crossed my mind, even though friends would be like, oh, you should do this. Because I would end up drawing my own cards all the time and giving them for friends or family or whatnot. So I never even thought that would be an option. You know, fast forward, I end up going to college, doing English and graphic design later. And then I freelanced for a long time doing graphic design corporate work, being at design firms. And then I had kids. So it took like a 10-year hiatus of being a stay-at-home mom, which, oh my gosh, so amazing and wonderful. But my youngest went to kindergarten this last fall. And so it's like, gosh, what am I going to do? Like, I didn't kind of want to go back into the corporate and doing that design work. But I also still wanted to have that creativity and express myself. And so then I started an Etsy store just to see how it would go. And it was like completely crickets, like nothing. It's really hard. That's a whole different topic. But and then one thing led to another, and I just ended up doing cards printing them myself and then thinking, how can I get into like brick and mortar stores and how do you start locally? So one thing led to another, and my friend introduced me to this program called Proof to Product, and that really helped me get kind of the bones for building a wholesale catalog and how to pitch stores and not just like, Etsy customers. So that kind of started that journey of getting into wholesale and pitching and kind of having my own brand and own voice instead of doing the corporate world, always doing somebody else's voice. So, yeah.
That's exciting. I mean, I think a lot of people think that when you just open your business, like you start on an Etsy store, you start somewhere that people will just go there and automatically you're there, or you'll start generating some sort of revenue. But you do have to really kind of put yourself out there in different ways. And
totally. Yeah. And there's no replacement for putting yourself out there and pitching and selling and just, it can be you and be authentic, but you have to put yourself out there and I hate sales, that's just like the least thing I want to do, but I do like meeting people and just talking to them. And it's basically like, if you aren't going to pitch yourself, then your art's not going to get out there. And so that's what I always think about is like, if I want the art to get out there and for other people to relate to it and enjoy it, then I have to sell it, or I have to introduce myself. I have to put myself out there. Yeah.
Well, you're also Uwajimaya now. How do you say that? Uwajimaya? Uwajimaya? Because I always just skip the U and it just say Uwajimaya.
Wajis,
when I hear people say it differently, like, is that how you're supposed to say it? I become a little self-conscious. But like, you're in Uwajimaya now. You've been there for a while. How'd that go? Like,
oh my goodness. So
that's a big pitch.
Huge. And I feel so blessed by that. But I think all along the way, I've just been super, super blessed by the generosity of people like you guys. And, you think it's intimidating trying to pitch somebody, but at the end of the day, people are super generous and just overwhelmingly nice and supportive and encouraging. And I just feel so overwhelmed by that. But same thing, like when I first started, I created this card line, and my husband knew the owner of Lady Yum. Her name's Megan, and she's super, super nice. And she's just same thing, so generous and supportive, and said, I just create a card line and I'll put it in my stores. So she put it in her Lady Yum stores, and that kind of got me started. So then I had the catalog, and then same thing, I went to Uwajimaya, and I think we might have known someone who knows it. But anyways, you got to get that introduction or put yourself out there and just cold pitch. And and then same thing, super generous, was like, we love it. We'll put in our stores, just all 4 locations immediately. Nice. And then the cards, like, they got on the shelf and it just took off. Like, the second I stocked it, it would just disappear because customers would be taking pictures with it, just buying them. And I can't stock them fast enough, which it's amazing. Like, I'm just overwhelmed by that response. And so that really gave me the confidence to keep going forward and making more and keep pitching. And then you're like, gosh, like, this is a product that people resonate with and love. And so I'll just keep going.
That is so awesome. I remember when you did come by, I remember seeing all your stickers and stuff first, and in my head I was like, this is cute. We have to have it in Kirkland. But we have to have this.
What made it even more awesome was the fact that you were so prepared with like literally like your whole catalog and the merchandising display and everything too, because I know like sometimes that could be a barrier for people working. It's just kind of figuring out like all the logistic like aspects of how do we work together and what does that look like. And I felt like you came in with all of that just really laid out for us. All we had to do was say yes or no. You made it easy for us.
That's true.
We really just had to say yes or no and then made it happen. So it was really like so smooth sailing.
Great. I absolutely love that. And that's the biggest advice I've gotten too from people is take the no's away. Like if you can pitch someone and there's no way they can say no, then you've got your in. And once you start selling, then it takes off, So it kind of, and when they see the customer's response to the products and they love it, then it's a win-win for everyone. So take that initial no out. So what is it? Like, is it hard to order from you? Then make it easy. Is it hard to pay? Like, make that easy. Is it because you don't have your merchandise set up or a display set up? Then make that easy. Like, create the displays for them. Like, give it to them. Make it an option at least. So, yeah.
That's great. So, do your kids ever help you with your design and stuff? Like, as what, inspiration or anything?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun to involve the family. So, speaking of family, like, my husband had his own company, so he's really helped me think through those type of things, and he's really helped me think through, like, the business aspect, because I'm more the artistic aspect. I mean, he'll like push me to do things, which is great. Like, it's good for me. It's good for the business. And then the kids are awesome. Like, they have been sleeving the cards, or like they count out the stickers for the orders, you know, and then help me pack it together. So that's been great. And then my mom is recently retired, but she has been sleeving all of the cards. So yeah, like when it big order, so it'll be thousands and over time. And she's the one who's putting in
oh my gosh.
Sleeves. I know. So it's really cool, though. She recently said to me, which I was shocked by, it's like, because she used to be in a testing office, so she used to do a lot of manual labor and paperwork and like perfectionistic, you know, counting things. And she's like, this actually, so she retired. She's like, actually, this fills a hole that I had to the need to feel purposeful at work. Like, I think we're created to work. And so she's like, and it's not 40 hours a week, or it's just like when I need it. So that's really cool, like how it's sort of blessed and filled holes for like the kids earning some extra money, or my mom.
That's cute. I love that.
Yeah.
So like with a lot of your puns on your cards, where does that come from? Because it's just like, how do you come up with some of this
That's
stuff?
a good question. I mean, sometimes it's like looking around, and then it'll just be like in the middle of dinner. All of a sudden, you're like, okay, that would be a good one. Or I'm also a 90s kid, so I have some retro references, getting older references, so things like that, things that like I would be entertained by or think was funny. And then you know, the whole AAPI thing too, just like, well, I also want to represent different. So we did an adobo card, and the pho card, and then dim sum card, and then Thai cards. It was just so cool to have like the whole spectrum, or try to get more of the spectrum in there. Obviously, I didn't get all of them, but yeah, to sort of be like, hey, like we eat this food too, and it can be inclusive. So
I think that's kind of the fun of it, because it's like, this is food that we normally eat.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's made. You're giving it character. You're giving it a little bit of like cuteness to it.
Yeah, like so the spam musubi ones.
Yeah. That's a big seller. The spam musubi one's a big seller.
Shockingly, like bok choy and spam musubi.
Yeah.
Like, why?
The boba ones are definitely sellers at Kirkland, just because I think it's just boba.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fortune cookie too is pretty good.
I love the bok choy one. I don't know why. It's so cute.
Your pins are really cute too. They're pretty top notch.
I love it. And then it's been cool to see it translate to the kids, so they will proudly wear like their pins on their backpacks, or now their friends are too. And so it's cool. I mean, in a way, it's like representing like, hey, this is a part of me and my culture, and it's a fun thing that they can show to their friends, and then other friends will want to ask where they got it from. So it's kind of cool. It doesn't just have to be a card, but it can be like something you wear. It could be on your hat, or your jacket, or whatever.
So what's been the hardest thing you think, one of like the biggest challenges of like kind of starting Brightspot, starting your own business?
Probably like all business owners, all the self-doubt and the insecurity. Is this the way I should be going? Is this the way that I, you know, like I'm not equipped for this, and just kind of that there's sort of a loneliness there when you're like struggling with it.
It's all on you.
It's all on you.
You're wearing all the hats.
You got to do the social media. You got to do the, like, how are you going to package this? How are you going to ship it? How are you going to, you know, order this? And then you're running out of supplies. You got to order this and keep inventory, or you got to be on top of your customers and like making sure they're happy. And then also if they haven't reordered, you got to, you know, so I think just that part's the overwhelm. And I need to learn from you guys of like, how do you delegate that to other people, or hire out to people, or things like that? Because not everyone has their mom. So yeah, I'm learning that kind of aspect of it, and that emotional aspect. And then the other week, like Jason was gone out of town for a few days. And I realized that I usually have this emotional outpouring every day of all the, I don't know if I did this right or that. And so when he was gone, I was like, oh, I have nobody to share. You know? It's really cool to have a spouse to share that kind of that was feelings with. So I ended up having to journal every day when he was out of town.
I think Emily's gonna get a dog soon for
just for herself. For herself.
Is that where all year?
That's why we have 3. See, that helps.
We need all 3.
Oh my gosh.
Therapeutic.
Well, that's great. I mean, he's not only there for like business advice, but also kind of just emotional support. That's really good.
Yes. And I think because he had his own company for so long, like he completely understands that type of emotion and that it's kind of nonstop. It's just always on the brain. So that's been super cool, like how supportive he's been. And again, we're gifted at different things. And so then he always brings light to like the issues I'm not thinking of, or, how to scale things instead of just kind of in your hole and the way you've been doing it. So, yeah.
That's great. Well, speaking of social media stuff, I mean, I saw your last reel. I messaged you. It was such a fun, like happy, very, it gives you like kind of this bright feeling reel. That was actually really cool. I like that.
Thanks. Yeah, I have to give Jason credit for that. He's also the video person. So yeah.
That was really great. Props to Jason then.
Yeah.
That was cute. That was cute. Yeah. But then I saw like, oh, we're a little low on those stickers over there. We're missing something.
Right.
Like the business end of me was like, no, we need to fix that. So that was really cool. So like as far as like content creation and stuff, how are you doing with all? Because I mean, the stuff that you're already creating is already very like aesthetic and very fun and very kind of like it brings a lot of people in already by nature. So like with social media and stuff, how have you navigated that since it's kind of like you and Jason kind of doing it?
Right. That's a good question. We really have not touched the whole even TikTok thing. I think because it's like, okay, maybe get the Instagram going first. Mm-hmm. I realized that like posting every day super helps, and I have so many cards that I really have one per day, and so I was like, this is something easy to do. And for me, I love looking through my feed and seeing like something fun from artists that I like every day. So. In terms of content creation, we think about that. And then, again, like being able to go to the local places and the partners and that, business partners that we've been able to collaborate with, like that's been really cool and awesome. Because then you share each other's content, and then people get to know other people's business, like Pochi Tea or wherever other businesses and what they've been up to. So I think it's really cool how it's kind of organic that way. Like everyone can share each other's content. Yeah.
And we got Mother's Day coming up soon. Mm-hmm. Malyn chose the card that she wanted, and I picked the other card. And I got the special stand that has 3 card slot. Because I picked another card, right? I think I picked 3 cards.
Yeah.
So I want 3 new cards. We're gonna put that on the counter.
Oh.
Just kind of a special event thing. Surprise! But no, I just thought the cards were really cool, and it's one of those things that it's not normally there. So I want to be able to kind of showcase that. So I'm excited for that. I mean, you always seem to come out with really fun stuff.
Yeah. I mean, with the card industry, it's like you're supposed to be coming out with cards like 3-6 months in advance.
Ooh,
so okay. I'm late, but I'll just try my best. It's out there.
So when you say you're late, are the ideas already in your head, or it's like, oh, I got to come up with this for this coming event?
Yes, it's like I got to think of Mother's Day, and you're supposed to be doing it like in January. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because stores will purchase like. Certain
ahead
stores
right,
will purchase,
right.
So they want to know like they're purchasing Christmas in June, right? So like the trade show in June is for Christmas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that schedule was interesting to get to know too, because you kind of don't feel like making Christmas when you're in your shorts.
Oh yeah,
summertime.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So what's the next step for Brightspot? Where are you headed to?
Good question. So I guess I'm basically just trying to figure out how to scale and scale outside of even, I guess, Washington. So I'm going to LA next week and trying to kind of, again, pitching more places, but also, bigger box retail. Like one place has like 11 locations, and if they purchase, it would be amazing. But then also I need to get help like sleeving cards.
It's going to be a lot of work. Your mom's going to be a full-time employee pretty soon.
I know, she's going to come out of retirement.
Yeah, I never pictured this. She's like... Yeah, she never thought she'd be doing that. So
And then you've got kids, so you can teach them how to do stuff. I mean, we have like teenagers working for us. That's how we delegate. But now you've got kids, you can train them really young. That's true. Train them really good work ethic from the very beginning.
Those are your employees right there.
Yeah, totally. Well, I need your advice on how to
No, I think that's cool because like you have them working, right? Like you have them doing some stuff, but it's fun for them and they get to earn a little bit. That really teaches them at an early age to like earn for it. Earn for something that they want.
Yeah, and sort of see like mom working. Because again, I was a stay-at-home mom for so long too. So now I've made this like complete 180 shift. And then Jason's been more like picking up the kids and stuff. So he's more like stay-at-home dad. So it is really cool to see that. I mean, for the girls especially to see, okay, mom can work too and you know, contribute and everything. So yeah, and she works really hard or too much. That's all she talks about. So, I need to, I tell them too. I said, I know mommy needs more work boundaries, you know. But your first year, I think it's all the things, right? And so I know that will be built into it. Yeah.
So when did actually Brightspot, because I know you just recently got some some papers through and stuff, but when did like Brightspot actually first start?
Actually, so I think we filed for in January, and then they told me don't ever file for a new business in January because that's when everybody wants to start in Washington. But the guy on the phone's like, if you come to Olympia, then we can do it in 5 minutes. Oh. So I was like, no.
That's why you were in Olympia.
I'm going to Olympia. Yeah, and I did it. It's like, there's no way I'm going to wait, you know, another 3 weeks or whatnot because I needed it for something else. So I just went to Olympia and got it, you know, get things done. And it was completely empty. There was nobody there. So if you want to get your license quick, like that's the best way to do it in Washington.
Wow, that's
good
crazy.
to know.
I was wondering why you were there. I was like, couldn't you just do that like online? Or like, but I guess that's a good point. New year, new me for everyone.
Right. Right. So they'll be like a month out if you do it in January.
Wow.
Probably any other time of the year, it's probably fast. But
that is good to know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. Just the amount of work that you're having to put into it. In a short amount, this is your first year. Yeah. Essentially. Right. So this is kind of cool. Yeah. Like we get to see the journey. We get to be part of your journey. So that's really exciting. Thank you for taking us along that journey. That's really cool to be able to see you kind of take off. And pretty soon, who knows, we might be having to have this interview again when you're like nationwide.
I know.
And like, so how did that happen? One day you were here talking with us just in Washington local areas, and now you're everywhere. So
across the state.
That's going to be exciting, yeah.
You know, I'm really impressed with like just the amount of like growth you've seen in your first year too, which is so amazing because I know like you said, like sometimes like small business owners like start and like even on Etsy and you know, you heard crickets there and then you had to kind of pivot and a lot of people don't. There's some people out there with businesses that take a long time for it to kind of get going. And it's really cool to see like you kind of putting yourself out there and really like getting in those places in Uajimaya and all these local businesses and really taking off there. So that's like really like a testament to like your work ethic. like one person show, you know, like that's so crazy.
Yeah, thank you so much. And again, thank you guys so much for just keep blessing me with the opportunity to be in your store. I mean, that's how I feel about just any person that's willing to put some Brightspot things to so it's just been so cool I think that's one of the absolute best parts about Brightspot is to be able to partner with places like you guys and other business owners that have been, again, just so generous, supportive, like community. It's amazing. Yeah.
How do you think like you are kind of, you know, working on your own and you said like it can get a little lonely, you know? And I know you speak a lot about like the community. So how have like just being connected to like different business owners kind of like helped you through like maybe some of the struggles that you've had?
Yeah, I think it's just these one-on-one conversations where you're just talking about the hustle and the grind. And everyone, you know, everyone feels that and they know it when they're a business owner. So I think it's those one-on-one conversations where they kind of give you the real, you know, and then resource sharing, just like, hey, you know, where did you get this done? like I'm trying to figure out inventory right now, and so I've just been asking whenever I meet up with someone, like, hey, what is your inventory system and how do you do it? And then they tell me their nightmares or what they used, and that's kind of that resource sharing is amazing, because you're not going to find that on Google, right?
Yeah.
Or Siri's not going to tell you.
Yeah.
That's too deep. Like so or trusted vendors or people they recommend, like nothing beats that as a personal experience with a good business. So yeah, so that's been amazing. Like people are so generous with their information and like who they've been using, or even offered to say, I can come over, like I can spend an hour with you and we can look at what your business plan is or whatever, like that's how kind people have been. So.
That's fantastic. I was going to actually ask you about that. Like, how do you plan on managing your inventory? I guess you're still in the works of trying to figure that out, because like if you're going to LA for like a conference and stuff, and maybe these stores do want like a whole bunch of your product, it's like, where are you going to have all this inventory?
Exactly. Right now, it's one room in our house and the attic. So I don't know. Like that's what I'm trying to figure out now. And I recently had to purchase GS1 barcodes. So those are like the big box retailer barcodes, because the store wouldn't even look at me unless I had them and have them on all the products, because that's how they order, because they're used to ordering from big box stores. Yeah. So I'm not a big box, but if I want to try to get into that next tier, then I have to have all those things. And then you have to invest to buy all those barcodes. And they needed like umbrella insurance and, for non-food products, like stationery needed like insurance. So then you're basically, you're investing into, well, in order to get to this next level of selling, like you got to invest that, and it's a risk. And so then it's
scary. It's
scary. That's the word. It's scary. Yeah. And I think that's where that at night the world's wheels are turning, like, is this a good use? Like, am I doing the right thing? And so thankfully Jason helps assure me, like, it's okay, we're in it together, Yeah.
So are you like, I know you're in the big stores and stuff, in the local stores. Do you do like direct online sales, product sales?
Yeah. So I direct to consumer too. So I only have my own e-commerce site on Shopify, which it was nice to have the graphic design background because it was easy to build for me.
Yeah.
And to do product photos and stuff because I was used to that. And it was even easy to build the catalog because I had that experience. But I haven't spent much time trying to like pitch it or go there because it was, again, like direct to consumer is so different.
Yeah.
And e-commerce is so different than brick and mortar stores. And so I knew that if I wanted to focus all on the wholesale and the brick and mortars, then I would have no bandwidth for. So that would be great, like to eventually hire someone to take that arm on, is like e-commerce, direct to consumer. I know a lot of artists start that way, like grassroots. They'll be on Instagram and then they'll get like thousands and thousands of followers. So I kind of took an opposite direction. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, well, that's pretty good because, I mean, there may be at some point in time somebody who wants some of your stuff, some of your cards, some of your stickers, pins and stuff that they're not in the Pacific Northwest. They don't have access to that. So, I mean, if they can access that online, then great. Like, you never know. Somebody east side might want some Brightspot. And
yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. I've gotten some orders on the East Coast, and it's always like, where did they find me? It must be, you think like
you're doing something right.
I'm doing something.
Yeah. You're doing something
the
right.
algorithm, Yeah. But I think that's a totally untapped, for sure, the direct to consumer. But I know it's like you got to get followers, you got to get people watching, you got to get people looking at your product, make it easy to shop.
Direct to consumer, definitely like online I would say definitely pretty hard because it's a different experience when you see something like in person. You can touch it, hold it, or talk to people in person and really connect in person. There's a different level of like trust there. And even with products too, right? And that's why people still shop in stores or purchase in stores, because it's a different feeling when you're able to see the product that you're getting in person already. And that barrier isn't there. So it makes that yes a bit easier to say,
Yeah. And then these are small impulse purchases, especially cards. It's like you're on your way to a friend's house and you're like, oh shoot, it's their birthday. Like you just grab it. So I from the get-go, I knew that brick and mortars do better with those impulse buys, and that's why I focused more on that instead of like, I'm gonna shop online for a card for my friend that's birthday's in 2 months. You don't think that way. Right. So that was the initial. Yeah, and the impulse buy.
Yeah,
right,
and it's a smart choice. Like, it is an impulse buy. Yeah. Like, how many? I've never gotten a card online.
No, never.
So like it's usually like, oh, it's that day, so I better go into the store like
always last
card.
minute.
And now Hallmark's not around as much anymore, right? Or are they gone? Is Hallmark gone or still around?
I don't know.
I mean, they still have cards, but
they're
still making those stores. Movies.
Yeah,
the Hallmark movies. Oh my gosh! Now we're talking about the '90s. But yeah, it's you can't just go to Hallmark anymore and just have a plethora of cards to choose from. Now it's just you just got to go to a big box store and figure out where to get the card or what card you're gonna get. So and they're not always great cards. It's like, what's the funniest, cheesiest, cutest one out of this bunch? Sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. There's always like a lot of like gorgeous cards and really like embellished and like really pretty cards, but you don't get to see a lot of like the fun like personality ones, like the cute, quirky or like colorful ones. I feel like those are harder to find. And then like you were saying, like something that like represents the AAPI like world and culture, like that's even harder to find in those big box stores. So you're filling a gap there. I think that's why it's so fun to see.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think you watch Amaya, like that's why they've done so well, because they have like this whole card section, and then people are buying gifts and groceries and stuff. So it's kind of a natural like, oh, okay, we'll pick something up there too. So
I love that. I love that. Well, do you have any? I know you were just starting here. This is your first year, but like, do you have any like tips for anybody that's going to go into a business of their own, whether it's something similar or it doesn't even have to be something similar, but like from your own experience thus far, do you have anything you want to share with people?
I think for sure creatives, we love making products and we love like seeing the reactions of people. So I think a lot of people start off with the craft fair, and that's kind of invaluable experience to be able to see their reactions and things like that. And then again, the direct-to-consumer online is so hard. Like being able to do it, like you said, Malyn, in person is really nice to get a start off and see which things are taking off, and then you can go deeper diving into that. I think if you want to do the whole wholesale route, it's a lot more upfront because you got to start building and designing things in collections. You got to have the website presence. You got to have your catalog. But it's totally worth it because then you can start pitching stores and not just do craft fairs. So if you're gonna go hard, I would do this route, which is design in a collection, go for it, get your whole line up together. And it doesn't have to be cards. I mean, it could be like a line of art prints. It could be a line of washi tape. It could be a line of whatever you like to make. Because that's what a store looks at. They look at collections. They look at how easy it is to buy. If I purchase 100, can you make them? So if you're like hand knitting crochet, like, can you do that or not? So it's a different mindset. But like, I think if you want to get into stores, that's what you have to do is you have to do all the upfront work first, which is build the website, build the collection. But, if you're just starting and you want to see how it goes, like craft fairs are an amazing way to get to see reactions. Do I have something here? And can I start selling? And if it starts picking up, then for sure, like just keep going further and deep diving and take the money you made from that craft fair and like invest it into building your website or whatever, or your email newsletter. So and resource sharing. So proof to product is super helpful if you want to go the wholesale store route. So
I love it. Perfect. Well, you guys, thank you for joining our episode today. If you want to check out any of Emily's designs, grab some of her cards, stickers, and pins and stuff like that. We're going to have all the descriptions, all her links in the description. So check that out. And if you want to help her in any way, she is a local business here in Washington. So we want to support our local business owners and local businesses here. So check those links out. And until then, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.